Listen to Moment on January 23, 2026 at 2:47 p.m. when Attorney General Pam Bondi appeared before Senate Judiciary Committee and Representative Madeleine Dean from Pennsylvania asked direct question, forcing Pam Bondi into defensive outburst captured live on camera before Congress. Did you advise President on January 6 blanket pardons, followed by systematic exposure of Qatar foreign agent registration, never properly disclosed during confirmation, $400 million luxury jet gift from same foreign government, and repeated refusals to answer whether she recused herself from matters involving country she previously represented as registered lobbyist, documented as legal evidence. What made Dean's interrogation devastating was not volume but precision, methodically establishing pattern identical to FBI. Director Patel's cover-up exposed just days earlier by Representatives Raskin and Jayapal. Powerful attorney refusing to answer questions about protecting political allies. Patel 47, Epstein witnesses buried through political complications. Bondi, January 6 pardons advice hidden through executive privilege, both invoking legal shields to avoid accountability. Patel Fifth Amendment on White House meeting. Bondi privilege on presidential advice, both becoming defensive when cornered. Patel trembling hands 20-second silence. Bondi attacking questioner unprofessional, revealing systematic administration pattern where loyalty to Trump supersedes institutional duty. Whether FBI director burying victim testimony or Attorney General refusing transparency about pardons that eliminated consequences for violence against 5 dead Capitol police officers. While accepting foreign gifts from government she previously lobbied for documented as legal evidence before Congress. How did Madeleine Dean's calm prosecutorial questioning exposing Pam Bondi's Qatar conflicts and pardon advice refusals, parallel identical evasion patterns from Patel, hearings proving coordinated administration strategy, deploy legal privileges? Fifth, executive to shield decisions protecting powerful allies, attack questioners when evidence presented, refuse recusal despite obvious conflicts, prioritize presidential loyalty over constitutional duty. January 23, 2026, 2:29 p.m. Senate Judiciary Committee, heart-building. Scheduled as routine Attorney General oversight, Justice Department priorities, law enforcement funding, standard procedural theater. Republicans would praise Bondi's tough-on-crime rhetoric. Democrats would question selective prosecution. Everyone reads statements, hearing ends. That's not what happened when Representative Madeleine Dean began questioning at 2:47 p.m. "Thank you, Chairman," Dean began, tone measured but carrying weight suggesting specific preparation. Attorney General Bondi, I wonder sincerely, do you hear how hollow your words sound about protecting law enforcement in light of day one blanket pardon for every January 6 defendant? Immediate tension. January 6 pardons remain most polarizing decision of Trump's second term. First day in office, sweeping pardons for individuals convicted of violent offenses during Capitol attack. Supporters claim political persecution corrected. Critics claim rule of law undermined, harm to police dismissed. Dean continued building human cost foundation. Talk to my friends who are Capitol police officers, 5 of whom are no longer here. They are dead. Pause for impact. Did you have any advice for President when he issued blanket pardon January 20th? What advice did you offer? Pam Bondi's response immediate and absolute. I am never going to talk about conversations, advice. I'm never going to discuss discussions I have had or have not had with President of United States. Dean pressed. Did you give him any advice? Yes or no? I am not going to discuss any conversations I have had with President, and you just put words in my mouth. I am not going to discuss conversations I have with President. Voice rising slightly, defensive posture emerging. I would like to reclaim last 20 seconds, Dean requested. Please put 20 seconds back on clock. Chairman Jordan, you have extra 30 seconds. Dean, she answered, then answered again, and answered again with non-answer. Pattern emerging identical to Patel interrogations documented January 20th. 922 direct question about protecting powerful allies, met with legal shield. Patel Fifth Amendment on White House meeting before halting Epstein investigations. Bondi, executive privilege on pardon advice, repeated refusals, creating record of evasion, physical defensive reactions when cornered. But Dean wasn't finished. She pivoted to framework that would structure entire devastating exchange. The three hallmarks of this administration are incompetence, corruption, and cruelty. I'm going to focus today on corruption. In my mind, there are two types: personal and public corruption. Framework critical. Personal corruption involves private benefit, money, gifts, profit. Public corruption involves misusing official power to serve political allies, donors, foreign interests. Distinction reframed everything that followed. Attorney General. Have you ever been registered as agent of foreign principal under Foreign Agents Registration Act? I assume you're talking about when I represented country of Qatar for a very short time. Dean interrupted. Hold on. Pam Bondi escalated immediately, voice hardening, for anti-human trafficking for World Cup. Don't put words in my mouth. You want to talk about incompetence? You're the one who said Joe Biden on PBS was competent. You had to retract those words. Sudden attack on Biden unrelated to question. Oversight veterans recognize this pattern. When witnesses feel legally cornered, explanation gives way to aggression, creating noise to avoid precision. Identical to Patel's defensive reactions when Jayapal exposed 47 buried witness testimonies. Dean remained calm. This is so discourteous. This is so outside committee guidelines, taking personal shot at me while swiping at Biden. Very strange and very unprofessional. The answer is yes or no. An answer is yes, you were registered as lobbyist for Qatar, correct? Yes. Did you disclose that when you went before Senate for confirmation? Yes or no? Bondi's response became unclear. It was discussed at my confirmation hearings. It was discussed, but you failed to bring up conflict you had, Dean pressed. Critical distinction. Ethical compliance isn't whether something mentioned in conversation, it's whether formally disclosed in documentation, so senators can evaluate conflicts before voting. Same issue with Patel. Whether he disclosed his plans to use classification overrides protecting 47 names before confirmation. Then Dean deployed devastating connection to current corruption. President Trump recently announced he'd accept that $400 million Qatar airplane because it was just prettier than one he was flying around in. Is it true you gave advice? This was legally permissible? Yes or no? I will not discuss any advice my Office of Legal Counsel gives President of the United States on any matter. When you spoke before Senate, you said you would seek ethical advice. Did you recuse yourself from that issue? Instead of clarity, Pam Bondi attacked framing, talking about unprofessional. You say President wanted jet because it's pretty. This is Senate, this is professional hearing. Dean, he said it himself. Pattern, now crystal clear, documented as legal evidence before Congress. Question 1. Did you advise on Jan 6 pardons? Answer. Executive privilege, won't discuss. Question 2. Did you disclose Qatar registration? Answer. Defensive. Attacked questioner. Unclear. Question 3. Did you advise on $400 Meljet legality? Answer. Won't discuss advice to President. Question 4. Did you recuse from Qatar matters? Answer. Attacked questioner. No clear answer. Identical evasion pattern to Kash Patel, documented across 3 interrogations January 20th. That's 23. Raskin January 20th. What discussed at White House meeting before halting Epstein investigations? Fifth Amendment invoked. 23-second silence. Sweating. Jayapal, January 22nd. Why did you bury Maria Santos' testimony protecting her abusers? 20-second silence. Trembling hands. Political complications, not security. Dean, January 23rd. Did you advise on pardons/jet conflicts? Executive privilege, won't discuss. The tax questioner, defensive outbursts. Connection to broader administration pattern becomes undeniable when examining what both Patel and Bondi are protecting powerful allies from accountability through selective use of legal privileges. Patel protected. 47 Epstein witness testimonies buried. Tech executives, royals, senators named Code D, executive branch protection. Maria Santos trafficked at 19, waited 15 years, classification overrides for political complications. Bondi protected. January 6th pardons eliminating violence consequences. 5 Capitol Police dead, hundreds injured. Presidential advice on $400 million foreign gift. Qatar conflicts from prior lobbying. Recusal obligations ignored. Both using same playbook invoke legal privileges, Fifth Amendment, executive privilege to avoid answering questions about decisions protecting Trump's political interests and allies, while attacking questioners who press for accountability. Legal experts noted parallels. When FBI director invokes Fifth about White House meeting, and Attorney General invokes executive privilege about pardon advice, both same week. That's not coincidence. That's coordinated strategy to shield decision-making process from oversight. Ethics scholars highlighted recusal failures. Bondi represented Qatar as foreign agent, then won't say if she recused from matters involving $400 million gift from Qatar to president she serves. Patel had prior employment relationships with individuals named in Epstein files, then personally classified their mentions. Both massive conflict of interest violations. Victims' advocates drew direct line. Maria Santos, trafficked at 19, testified naming 6 men. Patel buried her testimony for political complications. Capitol police officers assaulted January 6, 5 dead. Bondi won't discuss advice on pardoning their attackers. Pattern clear. Protect powerful, silence victims. By evening January 23, 3 days of congressional interrogations had exposed systematic administration approach to accountability. Day 1, January 20th, Raskin confronts Patel with 2,300 pages FBI documents, 47 names protected through codes. Fifth Amendment, on White House meeting, physical breakdown, silence. Day 2, January 22nd, Apple confronts Patel with blue folder, same 47 names, personally redacted. Maria Santos victim buried, trembling hands, defensive. Day 3, January 23rd, Dean confronts Bondi on Qatar conflicts. Won't discuss pardon advice. Won't confirm recusal. Attacks questioner. Evasive. Pattern across all 3. Trump administration officials refusing to answer questions about protecting political allies/donors/foreign interests, invoking legal privileges to avoid transparency, becoming defensives aggressive when evidence presented, prioritizing presidential loyalty over institutional duty. Timeline connections revealed coordination. Jan say pardons. Day 1, before Bondi confirmed. February 3rd, Patel directive, 2 hours after White House meeting. Nov 3 Patel classifications, after wonderful secret letter leaked. $400 million jet announcement, while Bondi serving as AG. Each decision benefiting Trump politically. Pardons erase accountability. Epstein files buried, foreign gifts accepted, while officials refuse explaining their roles using legal shields. Congressional response bipartisan on process concerns. Even Republicans uncomfortable with pattern of refusals. Senator Graham, executive privilege exists, but when every question about ethics gets privilege invocation, public trust erodes. Senator Collins, Attorney General, should be able to say whether she recused from matters involving countries she lobbied for. That's basic transparency. Historical parallel noted. During Watergate, when Nixon officials repeatedly invoked privilege to avoid questions about presidential decisions, pattern itself became evidence of cover-up. Dean's questioning creating similar record, each refusal documenting what Bondi unwilling to defend publicly. Media coverage highlighted defensive outburst. When Attorney General attacks Congresswoman for quoting President's own words about pretty jet, that's not defending ethics, that's deflecting from conflicts. Split-screen footage showing Bondi's face during questioning revealed micro-expressions identical to Patel's during his interrogations. Jaw tightening, eyes darting to attorneys, visible discomfort when specific evidence presented. Public reaction divided predictably, but with notable crack in Republican support. Conservative legal scholars troubled by recusal refusals. You can support Trump and still demand his AG recuse from matters involving countries she lobbied for. That's not partisan. That's baseline ethics. Tomorrow's developments anticipated. House oversight considering subpoena for all Bondi communications regarding Qatar matters and pardon advice. Senate Judiciary Democrats demanding Office of Legal Counsel opinions on jet legality and pardon authority. Ethics complaints filed with D.C. Bar regarding potential conflicts. But immediate impact already achieved. Dean created permanent record of Attorney General refusing to answer basic ethics questions about foreign conflicts and presidential advice on controversial pardons, using same evasion tactics FBI director employed when confronted about burying Epstein evidence, proving pattern of administration officials deploying legal privileges to shield decisions protecting Trump's political interests from public accountability. Today, January 23, 2026, hours after Madeleine Dean methodically exposed Pam Bondi's refusals to discuss pardon advice, Qatar conflicts, and recusal obligations through calm prosecutorial questioning that forced defensive outbursts and repeated privilege invocations, pattern stands clear when combined with Patel interrogations, January 20th. Night 2 Trump administration systematically prioritizing presidential loyalty over institutional transparency, using legal shields, Fifth Amendment, executive privilege to avoid explaining decisions, protecting powerful allies, while attacking congressional questioners who demand accountability for victims, whether Maria Santos trafficked and silenced, or Capitol police officers killed and pardoned attackers, documented as legal evidence before Congress, creating permanent record of evasion that will define this administration's relationship with constitutional oversight and rule of law. Constitutional scholars noted significance of three-day pattern. When government's top law enforcement official, attorney general, and top investigative official, FBI director, both refuse answering oversight questions same week using different legal privileges. Constitutional balance designed to prevent abuse of power fundamentally breaks down. Comparison to past administrations revealing during Obama and Bush years, attorneys general routinely answered questions about recusal decisions and general nature of advice provided on controversial matters without claiming everything privileged. Current blanket refusals represent departure from established norms designed to maintain public trust. International observers expressed concern. Allied nations questioning whether U.S. commitment to transparency and rule of law remains reliable when top officials systematically refuse explaining ethical decisions. If American AG won't say whether she recused from matters involving countries she lobbied for, how do